Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stu here from Spain Speaks with an update video today, bit of a feedback video, go through some of the comments on the last video, have a bit of a chat about some of those, and also give you an update on what's happening in the country. As you can see, I'm back on the road again today. Haven't done one of these videos for a while. Thought I'd go around and have a look and see what's happening in this part of Madrid. Because as we know, the last time I did a video like this driving around here, there wasn't a lot of activity. So hopefully we'll see more. And we should, because as we know, Madrid is open for business. Now the government is currently working on its plan for Christmas. We spoke a little bit about this yesterday. They came out with a draft and said they were talking about maximum gatherings of 6 people at Christmas time, and of course curfews until 1 a.m. A couple of other governments around Spain have said that they would prefer to have something like 10 people and the curfew kick in at 1:30 a.m. Madrid, for example, has said that that is what they would prefer. Now, all of this is just being talked about at the moment. They're going to have one of these interterritorial meetings, and all of these 17 autonomous communities plus Ceuta and Melilla are going to get together and discuss the Christmas plan. Whether it's going to be 6 people, whether it's going to be 10 people, we don't know yet. Probably one of those two. I've been speaking to a few people about this. A lot of people not happy that they're going to have their Christmas limited. As we know, Christmas in this country is a huge celebration. Families have a big feast on the 24th of December, and it's when families come together. If people are working in other parts of Spain, of course, they return home. And if people are working in other countries, they try to return home. But it's going to be a bit difficult this year, of course, not only because of the health situation, but because of the PCRs that are now obligatory in the country. We spoke about this yesterday. There were a few comments from people asking whether you need to have a PCR if you come to Spain by car. And the answer to that question is no. You only need to have a negative PCR test if you arrive at a seaport or an airport. On land borders, there are no controls. So if you cross down into Spain from France, or if you cross the border from Portugal, you are not going to see any controls. Obviously, because of the logistics involved, I imagine, too difficult to have people on every checkpoint there, easier to control airports and seaports. Obviously, that's the theory of the government. Now we're driving through the Polígono, or the industrial area today. You can see there's a fair bit of action going on. As I mentioned before, Madrid is not closed down. It is one of the most active autonomous communities in the country at the moment. Business is normal here for a lot of people. Kids are at school, people are at work. Shopping centres are open, everything is open. The only time that things close, bars and restaurants for example, is when that curfew kicks in at midnight. Businesses being able to operate while other businesses around the country are forced to close. There's even a fair bit of construction work going on. We'll go through this part here and we'll see a big construction project over here on my right. Trucks coming in and out, a lot of businesses. Man here with the stop while the trucks come in and out here, of course. Don't know what they're building there, but it looks to be something fairly big. More construction work going on over here to my right. They're building a new Lidl supermarket there. So Lidl obviously feeling that it's a good time to invest in Spain. And supermarkets, of course, are crisis-free. Not too many people out and about today. A little bit overcast, quite chilly. It's only about 11 degrees. So not many people out and about doing exercise and things like that. People prefer to have sunshine when they do their outdoor activities. And of course, not a lot of that today. There was a fair bit of feedback about the Qantas decision. Some people saying that it's the final nail in the coffin for that particular airline. Other people saying that more airlines will follow suit, do something similar to what Qantas has proposed about having a mandatory vaccination certificate before you hop on a Qantas flight to travel. Internationally, I think they said. I don't think they mentioned anything about domestic travel, but it sure ruffled a few people's feathers. Of course, all of the typical theories were expressed in the comments yesterday. Lots of crazy ideas going on there as usual. People still thinking that this is the end of the world, that it's some type of government plot to control the world. People are still going on about 5G. People are still going on about Bill Gates. And some people even think that they're still trying to put a chip in our bodies to control us. An absolutely ludicrous way of thinking, in my opinion. I think a lot of people that write these comments haven't traveled very much. Maybe they haven't traveled very much internationally, because it's fairly common practice around the world that if you go to some destinations, you have to have vaccinations. Parts of Africa, parts of Central America, parts of South America require vaccinations, and people that travel to those destinations get those vaccines. So is this really any different? If you travel to a place like Australia and you're stuck in a plane cabin for 21 or 22 hours, sometimes even longer, I'm sure that there are plenty of nasty things circulating in the air of those cabins. I've hopped on a plane to Australia at least 2 or 3 times fairly healthy and got off the other end, and within a couple of days I've come down with some type of flu or flu-like symptoms, and that can really ruin your holiday as well. So I wouldn't want to be traveling long distance with this coronavirus problem around. And if it means that people can travel safely, I'm all for it. And if it means that it's going to be the only way that I can get back to Australia to see my family, then of course I'm going to do it. Now, the government also came out yesterday and announced its plan for vaccinations. They said they were going to do it. The health minister came out and said more or less what they're going to do. The priority groups, of course, more construction going on here, housing. And as to be expected, it is going to be the elderly and the vulnerable and health workers that are first to get the vaccine, people that risk dying if they catch the coronavirus, and various other risk groups. I mentioned the other day that this is going to be a national plan. The central government is going to control this. They're going to take charge of 13,000 medical centres around the country in order to distribute the vaccine. And it's going to be rolled out in 3 phases, according to the health minister. And as we know, the plan for vaccinations here in Spain is January. So we'll see if they can get everything organised for then, because it's going to be a huge logistical task. There's a lot of people doubting whether it's going to be possible or not. So we'll wait and see. On that note, I'll start to wrap the video up. Questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. Coming to the end of my drive, you see that there's a fair bit of activity around the place, and the Madrid economy trying to tick over. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego.